Hey everybody, it's Chris Kirkpatrick and Norbert Joost here with Career Next, and welcome to the Executive Job Search Secret podcast. And today I'm really excited to talk about probably a question that I get almost more than anything else, and that is, can you explain to me what the public domain, i.e. where public jobs are posted, versus what the hidden job market is? People are really confused about what is this hidden job market? How is it different from the normal market, and what can I do to tap into that? And so we're going to get into that today.
So basically, we're going to start with what is the public market? And the public market is all of the job boards that are out there. You know, are you using LinkedIn job boards? Are you finding jobs on Indeed, Simply Hired? All of the places that people go to find these jobs. That is by definition what we're talking about when we're talking about the public market versus the hidden market.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so I think it's interesting because the public, like all those job boards that you're talking about, they've been around for, I guess it's a relatively new thing in the world of job search, but I think people are so used to them now, it's just kind of become the new standard,
right,
that people kind of expect and lean on. But the reality is that 70 to 75% of the jobs that exist in the market right now, in the United States specifically, are never going to be posted. They're never going to be advertised. They exist in what we call the hidden market. So the question is just, what is that hidden market? Really, the hidden market is just a fancy term for it's not posted, it's not advertised, it's not published anywhere. You're not going to be able to go and find it publicly anywhere. So this is one of the challenges that I find for people, that I find people are struggling, is because if you're spending 100% of your effort and energy in your job search focused on where 25 to 30% of the opportunity exists, that's going to be a really frustrating scenario, right? That's not a business plan for success, right? And so if we know that 70 to 75% of the jobs that you're potentially interested in are never going to be advertised and never going to be posted, and you can't go about it with traditional job search methodologies, which is a fact, like the question is then, what do you do about it and how do you manage that, right? And so that's what I want this to be about right now. So let's talk about that a little bit. I kind of like to say there are three great ways to access the hidden market. And the first one is something, if you listen to this podcast, you watch our YouTube videos, and by the way, if you're listening to this on the podcast right now, you can absolutely look in the description notes below, and you can go down, you can check out the YouTube video, you can watch us. We've got some graphics that accompany all this. But what I would say is the first thing that I kind of hammer all the time is you have to have an optimized LinkedIn profile. And the reason I say that you have to have an optimized LinkedIn profile is because whether you're discovered on LinkedIn, which is obviously a great benefit, and I'll explain that in a second, or whether you're vetted on LinkedIn, at some point in time, every job opportunity in today's environment is going to go, right? It's going to go through your LinkedIn channel, period. So you need to make sure you have that. In fact, I would even say that having an optimized LinkedIn profile is probably as important, if not more important than your resume. And they got to be synced up, and they got to be congruent with one another. Otherwise, you're really missing the ball there.
For sure.
Now, the second way to access the hidden market is referrals. Now, think about it this way. I always say, and I write about this in our book, Executive Job Search Secrets. If you haven't gotten this book, go check it out. You can go to executivejobsearchsecrets.com and check it out. I talk about this a lot. Is like, think about the process, and we've all done this. Every time somebody is looking to hire somebody, you think you're worried about finding a job. Hiring for a position is one of the most scary things that any decision maker is going to make, because it's their butt on the line, right? Like, it's their money that they're investing into you. And so it's the most risky thing that they do, and the most important decision that they're going to make is the human capital that they invest in, right? So think about it.
Because you're a direct reflection of their decision.
1,000%. And if you screw up, like, it's going to impact them. Like,
right.
it's just going to. And so it's because of that, it's really important to realize the psychology that goes behind their decision-making process. And so from that perspective, a decision maker is always going to think, who do I know that would be a good fit for this job? And if they don't know anybody, they're going to think, who do I know that knows somebody that would be a good fit for this job? That's the whole concept about referrals. I mean, we live in a referral-based world, right? And so, and a lot of these companies create referral programs for their employees, if you know somebody that you can refer in for an opportunity, you're going to get a bonus. You're going to get some kind of benefit to that, right? For that great referral. And those programs exist for a reason, because companies know that those referrals are more effective than almost any other scenario if they can get them in the right way, right? So make sure you leverage those channels of referrals if you can. If you can't, the third way, and I wouldn't even say this is the third way, I'd probably put this right at the top, is connect with a recruiter, because recruiters are absolutely a gateway. Norbert and I were just talking about this before filming this video. They're an amazing gateway to the hidden market, because think about it this way. There are people, and we were just talking about this, that are recruiters that get job orders to fill positions. And I was just hearing a story about a recruiter that actually got a job order to fill, and they asked for a job description. And the person said, no, I can't give you a job description for that, because the person that you're looking to hire, that we're looking to have you find, is actually replacing a person. If the job description gets out there, there's a potential that the person that's looking to be replaced is going to find out about it. So the nature of that opportunity is that it's a hidden market opportunity, because it's not going to be posted, it's not going to be advertised, and you have to make sure the only way, let me say it that way, that you're going to get access to this opportunity is by connecting with the right recruiter. Now, it may be one recruiter who's working that job. It may be multiple. Because sometimes there's multiple recruiters working the same job. Sometimes they have an exclusive contract on the job order, right?
And to add to that, the one way the recruiter is going to find you is your LinkedIn profile.
100%.
And having that optimized LinkedIn profile. And for myself as a recruiter, for the last 14 years, it happens all the time. And it's not necessarily always where somebody is maybe on the way out the door. Maybe somebody's getting promoted. But recruiters get calls all the time from managers saying, hey, I need you to do a hidden search right now in this market, because there's going to be an opportunity that's going to come up. Regardless of what the circumstances behind it are, where the recruiter can't advertise it, the company cannot advertise it, they cannot, you've maybe had this happen to you where you've actually reached out to a recruiter and they're like, I can't tell you. It may seem fishy to you, but it's a true scenario more times than not, where they literally cannot tell you about that opportunity because they haven't been green lighted by the company to find that person yet.
Gotcha. And that's amazing. So to that point, what I would say is make sure that you're connecting with as many recruiters as you possibly can. If you're in the medical device or pharmaceutical or technology sales or the executive branch or whatever, life sciences, like there's all sorts of different niches and channels, specialties that recruiters work in. There's IT, there's all these different things. Finance, all these areas. Make sure you find as many high-level recruiters that you can connect with and establish relationships with them, even if you're not proactively looking. This is a big part of a kind of building your brand and preparing kind of a worst-case scenario. I mean, let's face it, we all know the average time you're going to spend at your job is between 4 and 7 years. So that tells me that within 4 to 7 years, this is probably going to be something you have to deal with, right?
And sometimes the best opportunities come when you're happiest in your current job or most gainfully employed.
1,000%. And so to that point, make sure you reach out to them. And also when a recruiter reaches out to you, if you are gainfully employed, especially if you're not, I mean, obviously that's the dream. That's what you're looking for, is to get that opportunity going. But even if you are gainfully employed and a recruiter reaches out to you and you're like, I'm not really interested in that, I would really encourage you to say, take a half hour, take 20 minutes, 15 minutes, meet with that recruiter, have a conversation with them. It's not just about you. Don't make it just be, how can I get mine? How can I this is going to benefit me at this moment. Exactly.
Think long-term, think big
if you're going into that call with the recruiter saying, how's this going to benefit me? And if it doesn't immediately, I don't really care. That's the absolute wrong attitude. Go into that meeting trying to find out information from the recruiter about the job, what the opportunity looks like, and really think to yourself, is this something that would genuinely be interesting for me or a genuine opportunity? And if it's not, think about, who do you know that you might be able to refer into that recruiter to kind of build their good graces? Because I promise you, they will remember that. And in a year or 2 or 3 or 4, when you need something, if you call on that recruiter, they will remember you for that. I mean, you've been doing this you did that for a long time, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
You don't forget situations like that. When somebody does you a solid, it's like anything else. The best way to get somebody to help you is to help them first.
Absolutely.
I mean,
and still to this day, I can think of, my person or two in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah. I mean, I know those people that I can go to, and they're almost like sub-recruiters for me.
Yep.
They may not be looking, but they respect me and trust me because they know that I'm going to come to them and bring them all opportunities, because most people are curious and they like to know what's going on in the market and like to hear about those opportunities.
Yep. So at the end of the day, I think the point of this video is a couple things. Is A, focus on opportunities where opportunities exist. And if you break that down, what that means is 70 to 75% of the opportunities exist in the hidden market. So that means you need to focus on your LinkedIn profile and optimization so you can be discovered easier, and that you stand out when you're vetted for jobs that you do apply for in the public domain, right? They're still going to go through your LinkedIn profile, and you use that as a differentiator or a way to be discovered. So that's first and foremost. Secondly, go through referral channels. Thirdly, and not third, but probably firstly, I should have said it that way as firstly word, but utilize recruiters and realize that developing relationships with niched recruiters in the space that you're really focused in your career path, that you build those relationships intentionally, and you don't look at it from a self-serving perspective, because that it will pay dividends in the opportunity that you are given throughout your career. And I promise you, if you look at it from that perspective, when you do it this way, you will stop spending 100% of your time where 25 to 30% of the opportunity is, and you'll start really having a full, comprehensive, all-inclusive 360-degree perspective job search that you will know exactly what you need to do. You will differentiate yourself in the marketplace. You will become the best investment opportunity. You'll know how to connect with the right people. You'll have your brand effectively communicated with the right people strategically. And at the end of the day, your time management of where you're spending your efforts and where the results actually come from will be congruent with each other. Therefore, that's going to lead to a faster result. And that's why I always tell people, and that's why we created the Career Accelerator Club, is because of the fact that we know that if you follow a process and you're focusing your time and energy effectively, you can find your job search, or you can find your job up to 400% faster than industry average. And that's why we talk about it that way, because if you look at the U.S. Department of Labor says for every $10,000 of income you earn, it's going to take about a month to find a job right now. That is a disgusting, and I know that's not the same across the board in every industry. Some industries are faster, some are a little longer, scarily. But the bottom line is that's an average, and that's the Department of Labor saying that. So if you look at that, it doesn't have to be that way. If you just stop spending the majority of your time where a very small amount of the opportunity is, you can compress that timeline, you can get a job faster, start making money faster, because every day you're out of work, it's costing you money. And that's why we created the Career Accelerator Club, and we have the programs and all the services that we have is to help people kind of solve these problems.
And that's why one particular entire module is on LinkedIn. Because we talk about the incredible importance of LinkedIn and branding yourself, and how important it is in being out there for an opportunity if you're unemployed, if you're not employed, if you're out there in the hidden market, or if you're out there in the public market. It's imperative.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say that is absolutely the case. And I think it's the case today, and it's only going to become more and more so as we go over the next couple of years. LinkedIn is going to keep dominating, and I'm not saying it's going to be that way forever, but it's certainly, they're a major player in the market, and they're dominating the market, and it's just becoming more and more the case. So if you're missing the LinkedIn boat, you're missing a lot of opportunity. And so if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out. If you have questions about any of this, you can email support@careernextagency.com. Norbert or I will connect with you personally on this. If you have any questions, you can absolutely go to careernextagency.com, and you can find there's an opportunity. You can schedule an appointment to get a free consult to see, if we can help give you any guidance. I mean, it's genuinely a consult where we're looking to help you with your specific needs in your job search. Right. And if nothing else, I would say go to executivejobsearchsecrets.com, get this book. It is the playbook. It's 263 pages long. Don't let that overwhelm you. I put in big font, for people that need reading glasses. It makes it easier for them. And so, easy now. So anyway, I hope that helps. I hope you have a blessed, inspirational day. Go out and crush it, and we'll talk to you on the next video.